Welcome to the Muslim blog. Today we'll talk about any number of things. In that sense, when I was talking about a particular topic, though, a person may say any number of subjects are gigantic nuisances. When we talk about nearly any topic, it seems like a number of subjects. What about that, though? When a person is talking about any particular topic, a person who talks about a subject that no one cares about is a nuisance, okay? When someone is in their own topic, it has to do with whether we care about any number of their subjects. So, like, persons can talk about a topic in terms of it, but if someone wants to torture themselves, it has to do with that, right? But when I look at any topic, if someone doesn't even have the subject to begin with, then all we have to deal with is his annoying presence. But in that sense, though, the issue is whether we want to talk about any number. The issue is whether we want to cater to it. In that sense, though, what I do tell anyone is that if I'm in a particular topic, it has to do with whether we care about anyone's subject, though. If a person is talking about nearly any topic, righteous people listen to each other because they are reflective, exactly. Righteous and good people listen to each other for that reason. A righteous person is talking to God in their own way. So when we talk to each other, it's because the person is reflective and we want to hear about the person's reflections. But when a person is in any kind of topic, then we have to ask them, why do we need the perverse person exactly? When someone is in any kind of situation, though, it has to do with any number of rage control and that kind of thing, but a person can say, well, the perverse person is there for any number of topics. No. Freedom is that, like, why do we need the perverse person there? In that sense, though, it has to do with basic topics like that. When a persons are talking, righteous and good people like to listen to each other because they're reflective. They have good reflections, and everyone wants to listen to that, though. The person is having a dialogue with God, the person is talking to God, so everyone wants to know anyone else's topic for that reason. Persons have interesting things to say for that very purpose, though. The interest is stemming from the fact that people are righteous. When someone is righteous, they're having a dialogue with God, so they're talking to God. So in that sense, when we do talk to the person, that is why we like what the person is saying. That is why we are interested in what the person is saying. The person actually has something to offer to our own growth and so on, and vice versa. But that goes without saying, right? Like when persons who are thoughtful and reflective get together, they're thoughtful and reflective for rational and good reasons. The issue is whether persons all know this, though. Like, when a person is in a particular context, it has to do with any number of nuisance subjects. Like, when persons are trying to think on their own, they often do. The issue is whether or not there's a nuisance there that affects their thinking in some way. But the nuisance can only do them any number of hurt. Like, when a person is talking about nearly any topic, rational and good people like to talk to each other for a very good reason. Because they have value things to say, they have things of value to say. When persons are in any kind of topic, then, who wants to be around garbage? Let's just be honest about that. Why should I use a more appropriate term? Who wants to be near something that is talking from a perspective that we know? We can call it any number of words. I prefer to call it garbage. I prefer to call it disease, even. Why do we need the opinion of something like that? When I look at it from my perspective, those are the appropriate words because that's how I feel about it. It's garbage. But if the person says it's not garbage, then we can come to that conclusion in so many words. But what I say is the word I prefer, which is garbage. In that sense, though, we can say the person has a no. A person can say it in their own way in so many words. The way I like to say it is what it is from my perspective, which is garbage. In that sense, though, ask me if that's arrogant. Why would anyone want to listen to someone that is talking from a perspective that we know, though? If someone is talking from a satanic... Exactly, but what I try to ask people is to think of it for themselves, okay? When a person is trying to think something through, if there's a nuisance there, it has to do with that. But if the person understands that when they're by themselves and they're reflective, the issue is there is no nuisance there, then the issue is whether we want to invite the nuisance into the house, though. Like, when a person is in their own topic, it has to do with basic things like that. If the person says, for example, there are many ways I can talk about that topic, there are many ways I can refer to that topic. In so many words, I can refer to it. From my perspective, I call it garbage. In that sense, though, when something is any number of protoplasm, exactly, but persons may not want to go there, but I understand that, but from my perspective, I call it garbage. In that sense, though, it has to do with perspective then. Like, a person can talk about it from any number of ways. From my perspective, I call it garbage. In that sense, though, if the person is talking about nearly any topic, from my perspective, I call it garbage. In that sense, though, if a person is talking about nearly any subject, it must be based on whether or not a person understands that we do not have to cater to a perverse person. When someone is doing anything in particular, that is all it is. When the person is being attacked for being like that, though, who cares? Exactly! If a person is in a particular topic, it has to do with basic things like that. When someone is in their own topic, go right on, exactly! When someone is doing anything in particular, it's that simple, though. It makes sense that righteous people are a little sensitive, exactly. When persons are in a particular topic, though, it has to do with the fact that we are careful about being arrogant, whatever that means, right? We're careful, exactly. I don't need someone to say that for themselves or someone else not to. But I can praise a person like that because I know what it looks like. It doesn't have to do with the fact the person's perfect. Who's perfect? Exactly. It doesn't have to do with the fact the person can't commit error. Who doesn't commit error? In that sense, though, it has nothing to do with more than what we said. When a person is in a particular context, a righteous person is concerned about their spirit, exactly. A righteous person is concerned about being arrogant, concerned about these topics. Tell me what a perverse person is concerned about, exactly. It says anything and it does anything. When a person is in a particular context, though, it has to do with whether we stop beating ourselves up over it, though. When will the righteous person stop beating themselves up? In that sense, though, when a person is in a particular context, it has to do with basic things that everyone understands, though. If someone is doing anything, does the perverse person have anything they won't do? Exactly. When will the righteous person stop beating themselves up? In that sense, though, if the person is talking about a different topic, it has to do with any number of subjects. But if the person is talking about a topic, that is any number of subjects. When will the righteous person stop beating themselves up? In that sense, though, if the person wants to talk about topics that no one cares about, though, it's just like that. Like, a person can talk about nearly any topic, but who cares about that? If someone says, for example, the topic has to do with whether or not someone can judge some... No, exactly. When someone is in a particular topic, though, it may be for different reasons, and someone can talk about the topic. What about the problem of any number of subjects that we may or may not want to discuss? I believe in a person being allowed to express themselves regardless of the situation the person is in. When we look at the issue of expression, it's a big issue. My concern is nothing. I believe in the human being. I believe the human being can talk about nearly any topic. The issue is whether anyone else isn't that, though. Exactly. When a person is in a particular discussion, though, it has to do with whether we cater to the perverse person. It really is that simple. When a person is in a particular topic, reasonable people talk about things all the time. When they talk about nearly any subject, though, as if they have disagreement, exactly. Things are thoughtful, things are reflective, exactly. When there is a subject, let me know, exactly. It has to do with whether we cater to the perverse person. In that sense, though, what I tell everyone is their own topic, though. Everyone has interesting topics. There are things people do regardless of who they are. But it has nothing to do with that. When we're in a particular topic, though, we have a right to protect our home and hearth, exactly. When someone is doing anything in particular, persons can do infinite number of subjects, and in fact they do. They think on an infinite number of levels. They can do trillions of things. They can think trillions of things. They can think on an infinite level. But in that sense, when we talk about anything we have a right to say in terms of a particular topic, it's no different. When something is at the core of our existence, exactly. In that sense, though, if the person says something like that, it's controversial, exactly. But if someone is talking about a different topic, it must be for reasons that we know. But in that sense, who cares about that? When persons are talking about nearly any topic, it is that. In that sense, in the next episode, we'll talk about any number of topics.